Hello and welcome to assetyogi.com. This is Mukul and in this session I will explain about conveyance deed. Conveyance deed is often confused with sale deed. However, it is a completely different document which has a different meaning. In this video I will explain clearly what a conveyance deed is and how to handle this document properly. So make sure to watch the complete video so that you don't miss out on some useful tips shared here. Let's get started now. When you buy or sell a property, you would have definitely come across the term conveyance deed and sale deed. Generally, both these terms are used interchangeably when you buy or sell a property, but there are certain differences in these two concepts. In fact, I also thought initially that both are one and the same thing and you sell your property by executing a sale deed or a conveyance deed. In this video, I will explain the finer but important nuances between these two terms. Let us consider an example. Suppose this is a property which is owned by a person. Let's say the person is A, who is the owner of the property, and he has all the ownership rights. So basically he has the right to use, then he has the right to lease the property, then he also has the right to mortgage the property, and then he also has the right to sell the property as a owner. Now let's say he wants to transfer his rights to a person B. Now there are various ways of transferring the rights. He can transfer the ownership rights, basically he can sell the property, or he can transfer the right to use, basically he can rent out the property or a portion of the property, or he can mortgage the property. So to transfer any of these rights, he has to sign a deed or an agreement. Let's see what are the kind of agreements he has to sign. If he wants to transfer the entire ownership, then he has to execute a sale deed, or it can be done through a gift deed or relinquishment deed, or it can be an exchange deed. Now if it's a sale deed, then he also needs consideration, basically somebody has to pay for it, only then the sale deed is signed. And in case of gift deed, relinquishment deed or exchange deed, there is no consideration. Generally a gift deed is signed when a relative is gifting his property or his share in the property to another relative. Relinquishment deed is signed when one part owner of a property releases his share to other owners. Then exchange deed is signed when one property is exchanged for another property. So ownership can be transferred either by signing the sale deed, gift deed, relinquishment deed or exchange deed. Then this person A can also transfer right to use to B by signing a lease agreement. So a lease deed can be signed, and in this case only the right to use is transferred from A to B. So sometimes in some cities there are leasehold properties. So for these leasehold properties, the government generally issues a 99-year lease through which the government remains the owner of the property for next 99 years, but the right to use is with the lessee for next 99 years. This lease can be of any period. Sometimes an owner can sign a lease for just 1 year also, and it can be a 3-year lease or a 9-year lease. Then the owner can also mortgage the property to a bank. So the bank gets the right to sell the property in case of non-payment of mortgage dues. So all these are form of conveyance deeds only, through which a right is transferred from one person to the another, and the person who grants the right is called as the grantor, and to whom he transfers the right is called as the grantee, which is B in this case. So in short, sale deed, gift deed, relinquishment deed, exchange deed, lease deed and mortgage deed, all these are forms of conveyance deed only, and through sale deed the sale is conducted by which the ownership right is transferred from one person to the another in exchange for consideration. Now sometimes there can be multiple owners of a property. Let's say there are 5 owners in this property and each owns one floor. Let's say A1, A2, A3, A4 and A5. Let's say these are the 5 owners of the property. So each owner can transfer only his portion of the property and his interest in the property. So A1 can only rent out or sell the ground floor, A2 can rent out or sell only the second floor, A3 can rent, sell or mortgage the third floor, and so on. So in this case the shares are divided amongst these 5 owners, and they would have 5 different title deeds in their names But sometimes it can so happen that the shares are undivided in a property. So suppose fifth floor, this one apartment is owned by, let's say, A55 and A56, and they don't have separate title deeds because it is just one property and it is an undivided property. So in this case, if they want to sell or lease out or mortgage the property, then consent of both A55 and A56 are required, and only one person cannot transfer any right to another person without the consent of the other. If for some reason the other person is not available, in that case he can take a power of attorney from the other person. I hope you have broadly understood what is a conveyance deed. Now in most states and jurisdictions, it is important to get the conveyance deed registered. And the registration of any of these deeds, sale deed, lease deed, mortgage deed, can be done at the registrar's office. And if a deed is not registered, then it doesn't mean that it is invalid, it just means that it is an imperfect deed. And tomorrow, if you lose the original deed, there is no way you can get a certified copy and claim your right on the property. You may have photocopies with you, but you will have to go through a lot of legal hassles to claim the right on your property. So it is always better to get your conveyance deed or any kind of deed registered at the registrar's office. I hope that after watching this video, you now have a fair understanding as to what is a conveyance deed, what are its elements, and how it differs from a sale deed.
Thank you for watching this video. Hope you liked it. If you did, please like and share from below. If you want to suggest a topic for future videos, please write in the comment section, and don't forget to subscribe because we are putting way more videos just like this. Don't forget, subscribe. You really don't want to miss out on our latest real estate and investing tips that we share every week. See you guys in next video.